My name is Alex Cark. I'm the legislative coordinator for the Consumer Advocates for Smoke-Free Alternatives Association. So this is the Right to Vape tour. We're on our way to Santee, California. It's just outside of San Diego. I'm on board with Julie Westner, CASAA's executive director, Gregory Conley from the American Vaping Association. We have Pamela Gorman, the executive director for the Smoke-Free Alternatives Trade Association, or SFATA, and a board member of SFATA, Kat York, from Boosted E-Juice. It's one of the primary sponsors for this tour. And we also have our campaign manager, Paul Blair.
So I'm Paul Blair, the campaign manager for the Right to Vape tour, which is a 4-week campaign that we just kicked off yesterday in Las Vegas. And we'll be doing, I think, 18 states over the next 4 weeks. Broadly, though, the goal of this effort is to both bring awareness between the public, members of Congress, about a recent regulatory decision the Food and Drug Administration made, deeming vapor products and e-cigarettes as tobacco, which subjects them to a relatively onerous, if not impossible, regulatory scheme that will more or less lead to prohibition in the next 2 years. And so our effort this month and through the end of the year is in introducing some of these small businesses and consumers to candidates for office, to members of Congress in the House and in the Senate, and to increase awareness with the public about this recent government overreach. And so what we'll be doing is a combination of rallies like we did yesterday in Las Vegas, meet and greets at vape shops, or behind the scenes meetings with members of Congress to talk to them about why it's important that we change the predicate date, which was that arbitrary 2007 date at which Congress said, or now which the FDA has decided, if your product wasn't on the market at that time, you've got to go through this extremely expensive and more or less impossible process within the FDA.
So yesterday was the first event on the Right to Vape tour. We met up at the parking lot at the restaurant at Dean's Place, and we had congressional candidate Tarkanian come out to speak. We also had laptops, iPads set up inside the RV for people to come in and register to vote or update their voter registration and take action through CASAA's website. Send a message to their lawmakers to support a change to the predicate date.
There's already enough rules and regulations on small businesses and the struggle they have today, so to put more controls over them just increases their overhead. So I can see it damaging the industry as a whole, and I can only see bigger chains or bigger business be able to afford those overheads and kind of take over as they have in the cigarette industry.
I think the FDA stepping in and trying to regulate something that they know no knowledge about is just asinine. I think it's all about the money, and they're hampering small enterprise. A lot of the vape shops that you see around are being forced out of business because they cannot afford the fees for FDA approval of their products.
So with the industry, I heard they're kind of putting some tight controls on what the industry can do, what they can't do, and kind of labeling it like they would, another type of drug. But that's really all we know so far, and that's why we're out here today, is to find out more information on it and be aware.
I think there's a lot of misinformation, and a lot of people aren't really in the know as to what really is going on. Especially in terms of California, there's a lot of money up in the air when people stop smoking cigarettes and they, transition to a safer technology. You have a lot of companies like Big Pharma and some tobacco companies that are going to be upset about, the loss of their consumers, and the state with their loss of the tobacco tax money and the agreements that they had in place. So pretty much we're out here trying to educate as many people as possible as to, you know, what is actually really going on and how it'll impact our businesses and our way of life.
We're honored today to be joined by Congressman Duncan Hunter. Many of you may know him as an outspoken advocate for both the consumers and the businesses who sell these products. As a consumer himself, he certainly understands the benefit to these products and allowing innovation in the free market to continue to work.
Hey, so I'm an East County boy, born and raised, and for me this is about freedom. It's pretty simple. It's about being able to do what you want to do, whether it's smoking cigarettes, smoking cigars, or vaping. It's about the ability to do what you want to do, because this is still America. Even though it's California, it's still America, right? The point of this, and the point in getting out on social media, is to make the millions of people who vape aware of what's going on. Because a lot of people don't still, even though their entire right and ability to do this anymore is going to be taken away very soon, that they don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't realize what a big deal it is. So that's one thing that we're fighting for, and it's up to you to get the word out there to everybody else. Big Pharma is totally against this. Big pharmaceuticals, meaning the people that make the patch, people that make Nicorette lozenges, gums, they did nothing for 20 years to bring down the number of people who smoke cigarettes.
The irony with Big Pharma is that you assume that a health organization or health industry is really what we're talking about with Big Pharma, should be helping us. That's what we're taught to believe as part of society. Unfortunately, it appears that some of those pharmaceutical companies have a conflict of interest. They would much rather have you using Chantix or the patch or gum.
These associations look like. This issue is bigger than vaping. It always has been. This is about tobacco harm reduction. This is about giving adults safer options. I'm demanding access to these products now. The FDA, other regulatory bodies, they're trying to delay that. They're trying to make it harder for people to get access to these products. That's not right. We're going to be able to measure that mistake in lives. We're demanding access to these products now. We all still have to keep fighting. When adults have options to low-risk alternatives, they will make the right decision and they will improve their lives.